Hello, everybody, and welcome to Perc Talk, episode 9 from the On the Back Hash boys. It's at least half of us, the pretty half. Anyway, my name is Cedric, and as always, I'm joined with my boy Will.
What up?
And doing some reaction today from a lot video from Phantom Regiment.
Phantom.
So, how'd you get? How'd you find them? Want to pick them out?
Scrolling through, somebody finally put up a really good video. Caught them. This one's going to be coming from Innovative Percussion. Love me some Innovative.
Hey, IP fam.
Every day. But yeah, they had a good live video. I did a skim through real quick, and I was like, yeah, this might have some cool beats in it that I ain't never heard of. So, because after that finals run through,
yeah, it was Phantom as a whole.
As a whole,
not even just the drum corps. Just as in just percussion, but as a whole, had a fantastic finals run. That jumped him 2 spots in finals. I'm sure it's happened, but I wonder how often it's happened. Because you might get a spot flip, every now and then. But to jump 2, that's pretty big.
Really impressive. And sitting there listening to all that, I was like, yeah, we gotta do this. We're gonna do that.
So Phantom Regiment doing their show, A Walk Too Far.
All right.
Or not a walk too far. Something about walking and being too far.
In the desert. All right.
All right.
Let's get it.
Make sure you click the right button this time.
Click the right button. All right, here we go.
All right.
Okay, clean.
Yeah. I'm always a fan of the inner accents against all the other stuff on the tenors when they.
Ooh, no dirt. Keep controlling the crescendo.
Mm-hmm. It makes sounds a whole lot like some Riddick stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Harsh on the intro, but it recovered.
Yeah.
All right now. I've mentioned this before about another group, but sounds like they tune their drums pretty high as well.
Yeah. No room for error. But like just like that crush roll right there that just happened, it's just done clean, man. There's so much intensity in the notes.
Yeah, them snares are tight.
Shout out to the Met guy.
It hasn't missed a beat. All right, basses. Okay, yeah.
That was a nice little lick there.
Inverts. Yeah. Nice fade out with top bass.
Yeah. Nice fade into the tenors.
Yeah.
Get a stick.
That's hard.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the med on for that. Phantom.
Nice work, tenors. they assault your face.
Yeah, we're
your open
like
roll
all day.
Stroke roll. Just
so I'm learning that, or I'm finding out that a lot of the groups, even if they're not writing a bunch of flashy stuff, it's a lot of stuff that's well fitted for the horn book. And has this one to me just what do you call it? Like had like a ride along type feel. Like you just ride and you just listen. So it even if it may not had who do I say like I'll pick on BD, like BD's opener. I think everybody knows BD's opening phrase for the percussion and how extravagant it is and how wild it is. And you got the and they do all the stomping and the body work and everything, and it's crazy. If it's not giving off that, it has some tasty stuff in there. And even if it's not as difficult, it still holds your attention for the most part. So I give Phantom a couple, some kudos for all of that. I think I noticed some fresh faces in that, and just like a lot of these groups, man, there's so many new kids and just new lines. And I think these writers I guess it would be like taking a test run. For some of the groups, it's like, okay, let's see what they can do. And then for next year, I'm actually expecting to hear a lot of these groups and a lot of these lower tier groups that ended up lower come out with something that's a lot beefier.
Yeah, I mean, as an arranger, drill writer, just designer in general of these groups, you want to put them in a position to where they could be successful and do their job properly. The main job of the percussion section is to keep time, and
that show keeps time all
day. The challenge is to make and the challenge is to make your content do that, but also be engaging and effective to the audience in coordination with the wind book and the color guard. So I think you see a lot of safer books out there this year.
It's like we're all back from.
I don't want to use.
I was just gonna say because we're all back from the pandemic year and everybody's finally coming together. Like I said, for many of groups, it's a lot of groups with a lot of fresh faces. It's a whole lot of new from something that's been going on for years in a general aspect, but still we had to break, and a lot of cautious writing and let's see what this does kind of year.
Yeah, because I hate to use the word easy because the book is not easy. Because what some people have to remember too, they have to do that stuff on the move, and DCI tempos are typically pretty quick. So, but high risk, high reward, and for some of those groups, it was just like let's put our percussion section in the best situation, a way they can be successful, not only for them but for the whole corps. So I think a lot of the book that we see in as far as percussion range is concerned, in the like 7 through 12 range, or maybe 7 through 12, 7 through 12 or 7 through 14 range it's not pushing the envelope, but it doesn't need to. It was meant to sustain and have good tempo control and things of that nature. And I think that's what the Phantom book did. It did exactly what it needed to do.
And I also think sometimes I've seen a lot of groups do this, in high school included, where you'll hear something by itself and it doesn't give off the same energy as the ensemble. So there's a lot of times when I'll watch a show and I'll hear it I hear a lot, and then I'm like, man, whatever. And then you see it in the show. Now you got probably the front ensemble playing behind it. You got the color, you got all this stuff going on, and it changes the perspective of that spot. Maybe it's a solo, whatever it is, and that could have a big factor as well on a lot of these groups, because I see it all. I see it a lot. Sometimes standing alone, it's not as extravagant or grateful as what you thought it was, but when you get it with the rest of the ensemble, now all of a sudden it's cool. It's like, oh wow, okay,
Yeah.
now it makes sense. So,
well, and most of the time, these guys, when they're writing book, they write it to the horn book. So, we may not, we may hear about stuff in a lot, and we may not understand why something is written the way that it's written, and then we're here with the horn line, and it's like accenting something that the horn line is doing, or some kind of support underneath what the horn line is doing, and you're like, oh, okay, so that's what this is for. And I think we're seeing more of that this year. Is let's make sure the battery book is mimicking or not clashing with the horn book, because and I think this is a good example of that. And some people, in another video that we just recently watched, the performance aspect of it, one thing I can tell from them was interpretation of just certain things. When there was, and they didn't have a lot of body, but there was a few little things that they did, but the interpretation of it was different from across the line. I think I was looking at the snare line when they were marking time or something, and feet were in a bunch of different places. Like, how high does the foot come off of the mark time? How much are we doing the whole snare swing up and down? And I noticed that in the tenor book and the tenor line as well. So, and it's those little details that, especially in DCI, that make a huge difference. It's those things that separate the top 4 from the next 3, from the next 4 or 5. Is those little attention to details.
Gonna be interesting next year.
So, yeah.
That's all I know.
Yeah.
I like I said, I expect a whole lot of groups to do a whole lot of beefing, changing, rearranging, all of that.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to talk to folks and see, like, what was your mentality going into the season? Was this a bounce back season? Like, was this a trial season? Were you going full blown after it? Like, did you try to push your kids to the max as far as like content, or did you try to push them to the max as far as achievements concerned? And this year, like, well, honestly, in no year, that's whichever one you chose, it's not a bad option. First and foremost, I think DCI is an educational thing. Kids are paying all this money to get a great experience, and part of that great experience is a high quality musical education. So whether or not that a particular corps is trying to fight for a championship, or trying to fight for a Sanford or a Zingali or whatever it is, they know they're getting top notch education from some of the top teachers in the country, maybe in the world. So, putting your kids in the best position that you can put them in. So you can do. So, any closing words, Will?
No. Just everybody like and subscribe to everything that we got. Feed us some comments. Let us know, who you want us to see. You got any suggestions? You got any comments? Critiques? Whatever. Hook us up. We're down to watch anybody. Talk about anything.
I want this to be as interactive as possible. We're not, we don't know it all.
No.
We don't know it all, and we love to talk to people and have some people have said some really cool stuff in the comments about some stuff. It's really been cool to see some of the back and forth with that. So, all right. Well, we got more videos coming your way in the very, very near future. So, continue to hang out, with us and just, do all the things. So, if there's nothing else for Will, my name is Cedric. This has been episode 9 of On the Back Hash, and until the next time, love one another and go hit some stuff. All right, see you.